Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in my previous video, I've shown you guys how we can set up the Kubernetes, GitLab, Canonical build images, that stuff along with the ArgoCD. So in this video, we are going to discuss how we can set up the apps of apps in ArgoCD. So we are going to continue the same example regarding the detailed video. If you want to see, I'm going to add this particular link. You can watch that. But regarding the infrastructure, we have already set up. So this is my repo, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect with my Kubernetes cluster. So before that, let me show you. We are going to use Lens, and you can use CLI as well. But for this demo, we are going to use Lens. So regarding Lens, I've already created videos. You can watch those particular videos, how we can manage our Kubernetes cluster with Lens, right? So if I try to connect with my cluster, it's not going to work because currently you see the connectivity have not done with my server there. Might be it's a remote server or might be a local VM on your machine. How we can do that, I've already shown you detailed way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect with my remote machine, and then we are going to access our client cluster, which we have set up, right? So let's try to connect with this guy. And what I'm doing here, I'm doing the SSH tunneling to this port and on my local machine as well. So this is the remote port on server, and this is my local host port, right? So let's try to reconnect it, and hopefully we are able to access that particular client cluster. You see, it turned green, and now we are going to set up some of the stuff regarding the apps of apps in ArgoCD. So if you navigate back to the section services, click ArgoCD, and let me do that. You will see these setup which we have already set up, right? So I'm going to do the port forwarding, right? So previously I've done that. Let me simply do it again. So let's say 8090 is going to be the port which I'm going to do port forwarding, and this port is going to be available on my local machine, right? So let's do that. Okay, okay, this might be engaged. So what I need to do, okay, let me navigate to this port forwarding section and set another port. Remove this port here, right? Right. Okay. So navigate back to the section services, ArgoCD server. Let's try a different port, right? So 8095, right? And this is open in my browser. What I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this particular guy, right? So let's do that. Simply, I'm going to bring this guy right here in this browser tab, right? So now we are going to access our Argo CD, and I've not set up the official admin password. So what you need to do, click on config, navigate to the secrets, and click on this admin password secret. Click this guy, copy this password, and the default name is going to be admin. So simply paste this guy. So in past, if you see, we set up the Hello application, but what if we want to set up the multiple application with multiple Helm charts, right? So we are going to discuss this particular scenario here. So if you navigate to this video, what I've done, I've added this directory here for simplicity. If you click this guy, you will see the charts. Charts includes the Helm charts. Let's say you have application bar and foo. We have a complete Helm chart regarding bar, right? And similarly, if you have application foo, we have a complete bar chart. Helm chart with regard to that, right? So navigate back to the section, and then we have Argo CD directory. In this particular Argo CD directory, you will see the multiple directories, environment, staging, and all these directories. Let me click on this. So bar. let's see bar.yaml. We are discussing the steps. What we have actually done, it is pretty much simple. So this is where we are going to set up all the stuff from the command line, like the YAML files, right? All the infrastructure, for instance, if you have staging environment application, how we can quickly set up or deploy our Helm chart quickly, right? So um, this is the Helm part. I'm going to show you this part again, but let's try to simply understand. So this is the staging YAML ArgoCD file. So if we want to, let's say, deploy our staging environment. So if you see, this is the app path. Let me show you this section in another tab. So let it open in another tree. So you will get a better understanding. So this is the directory where I'm calling. So this is the path, right? So regarding the other um, flags, metadata finalizer is something if you want to delete those particular application from the Argo CD, it is going to delete from the Kubernetes as well, right? So this is the path app. This is the app path exactly one, right? So if you navigate to this section, so in that particular path, we have Argo CD directory, right? So this is the Argo CD directory, and that we have the environment and we have staging, right? So just to give you understanding regarding the path, so and this is our repository URL. So I made this public to make sure you can access this particular repository, right? So regarding the sync option, I added validate true. I mean, regarding the Kubernetes manifest file, by default it's set to true, and create namespace is set to false. You can set it to true as well. So it's going to automatically create that particular namespace. So anyway, these are the basic setting which we have actually provided in order to deploy our complete infrastructure. So now we are going to navigate to the environment section, right, in staging. So we have two application, although these are not Helm charts, but these two are actually pointing to our Helm charts. Let me show you now what is mean by that. So bar.yaml, right? So this is our application and it is actually pointing to our Helm chart, which is located in the apps chart. So let me again navigate uh, in the new tab and I'm going to show you. If you understand this directory structure, you can easily understand what is mean by that. So you see apps. So the main directory in the Helm Argo CD is apps. If I click this, you see we have charts. Charts means Helm charts, and if you click this guy bar, we have complete application bar chart here, right? So this is what it means, right? Regarding the settings, this is the default setting which we have already discussed. And regarding your application namespace, I'm going to create I'm going to use this namespace, and here I'm calling it create a namespace set to true. If it does not exist, you can create that particular namespace automatically. It is going to create that. So you see, this is the repo. Definitely, when it is going to pull that repo, you have to make sure that all the stuff should be available in your Git repository. So regarding the path understanding, I've already shown you. This is regarding our Helm chart. So this is the exactly that's why I did two. Directories here. So navigate back to the staging foo, and foo.yaml is something exactly the same as bar, but definitely apps charts directory foo. So this is our, you see, let me navigate main apps, right? Charts are Helm charts, and foo is our complete Helm chart. So exactly what it is actually pointing to this directory which is available in our Git. So ArgoCD is a GitOps approach. That's why you have to make sure that it should be available. Now, one of the thing regarding the staging, I want to have specific values for staging environment. Might be the values regarding the dev environment are different. For instance, if you want to enable auto scaling in staging environment and disable auto scaling in dev environment, something like that, and definitely other settings you can do that as well. So that is where what I've defined multiple dev values, staging values, just to give you an understanding. Although you can add prod values.yaml file, and by default we have values.yaml. So dev values.yaml is, it's pretty much like something you can add, for instance, like this we talk auto scaling by default is set to false. You can enable to true in your staging environment. In dev values you can add that enable another strategies that you might have different environment variables. You can do that definitely, and that is how you can manage your complete dev queue environment with a single hand chart. So hopefully now you get the understanding that how we can do that. So what I've done, I've already cloned this repository. You can do that as well. So it is completely public. So what I'm going to do, let's say if I navigate to this ArgoCD, so we have this apps directory, right? And if I do ls here, I want to deploy this ArgoCD, right? So staging environment. If I navigate back to this section, currently we don't have environment. So let's say navigate to the namespaces. So I've already done the testing. That's why you see far and true namespaces, right? And let's try to deploy stuff. For instance, navigate to bar. Currently we don't have anything. Let me show you first of all in the UI. So simply what we are going to do, let me make this guy a little short so you can easily see what is going to be happen quickly. So I'm going to simply do kubectl, apply all my Helm chart with a single command, right? So what it does, it is going to apply all the Helm chart which are going to be available in ArgoCD, right? So simply apply this file, right? So, okay, okay, got it. So, what I need to do, I need to bring this guy available in my container as well. So this is the container. I'm actually accessing this particular container. So I'm inside the container, right? So what I need to do, I need to make sure I can use this particular command to make sure I should be available. So what I need to do, let me check. Do we have a tmux there? Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say apt update -y and then apt install -y tmux. Although I can add more shells as well, but what we are going to do, we are going to create a new session. So let's quickly do that. And I'm going to run that particular command in the background. So I'm going to use this particular shell to make sure that everything should be available here, right? So let's do that quickly. And hopefully tmux is now available. Let's try tmux. So control B and D. So what we are going to do, okay, let me say tmux new, and session name is going to be, let's say, ArgoCD. And now I'm going to paste this particular command. What it does, it is going to do the SSH channeling in this particular container, right? I need to provide the password, and hopefully I've added this particular context file here. So let's try to do that. And if I press Control D and B, sorry, Control B for boy, and D to detach. So let's try to see kubectl get false. I don't think so. I have the context available here. So I'm going to bring this particular guy, right? So let me do a pause here. So guys, what I've done, I've added the context here. So if I've done the future get nodes, I'm able to do that. So let's try to run previous commands, right? Okay, I'm in that particular context. So navigate to this MNT section and Helm ArgoCD, right? So, and in the apps section, right, we have this file, right? Now I'm going to simply do kubectl apply because I have access to this particular, sorry, cluster. So I'm going to do exactly that. And let's try to again scroll it down and see. Press tab. So and has been applied. You see, apps of apps has been created, and let's wait for a while. Okay, so let me open this particular guy. We need to wait for a while, right? So guys, issue is here that I've added additional directories. We need to add those particular YAML files in that particular staging environment. So I've checked the mistake, I've updated it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do commit and let's do git push right. So when I get back to this section, what I need to do, I'm going to show you shortly. So let's try to fix this error, what I have done. So this is PWD. This is the staging environment. And if I do CD back to this directory, right, where we have our ArgoCD staging YAML file. So let's try to reapply. You have to make sure that all changes what you ever done should be available in Git. Let's try to reapply that. And okay, let me first of all, it says unchanged because our other apps are not available. What I need to do, so I'm going to simply delete this particular application, right? And delete this guy, right? And let's try to reapply that. So by deleting, you see that will be gone. So let's try to refresh it. So we have to wait for a while, and shortly you will see that this has gone. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do kubectl apply to this particular guy, apply this guy, right? So it is now actually targeting that environment. You see now we have our foo and bar apps are available. So this is apps of apps. What it does, it is going to create the foo and bar application. So if I click this guy, you will see the complete deployment of that particular application along with the container is available. So if I navigate to this section, you see bar, and if I click on this foo section, you see it has been 20 seconds, and foo is going to be also deployed. Um, 20 seconds ago. So these are actually Helm charts, which are actually deployed through ArgoCD, right? So these are not going to display here because we are using ArgoCD. So ArgoCD are actually taking care of our Helm charts. So hopefully you understand the architecture and design regarding the app or apps. So if I navigate back to the application section, you see this is our apps or apps, and it is actually pointing the path is going to be the app ArgoCD environment staging, right? So and this bar is actually pointing to our Helm chart apps charts bar, which is the Helm chart in you see which I've already discussed. So it is actually pointing to who apps charts who. So this is how we can easily do that. So we have added the additional flags. So if I navigate back to the section, you see currently we have our pod deployed in the foo. So let's try to delete this particular application. So what it does, it is going to also remove the application from um, I mean our Kubernetes cluster. So I'm talking about this flag, which is the finalizer, which is going to actually remove the particular stack your application stack pods from the Kubernetes cluster as well. So you see it has gone, and if I navigate back to the UI, you see everything is has been cleaned up. So guys, that is the architecture of apps and apps. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. In my next videos, I'm going to cover the Argo CD image updater. Both option we are going to use bash scripts, and also we are going to use official Argo CD image updaters. So see you see you in the next video. Let's please subscribe and share the video as much as you can. Thank you. Have a nice day.